Good morning. Denise Dryden here. I am in Edmonds, Washington, and at school for the weekend, so I got to get up early and come down to this. There's a little creek that goes through the backyard, and if you're quiet, you can hear it. Hey, Marika? Yeah. I have a girlfriend and now everyone's coming to class, and this is just great timing. They're all going to come and interrupt us if we can. Okay, so we're going to talk about boundaries, like how to set boundaries. This is my boundary for the next 10 minutes, right? We're going to talk about this. And how to have fun with them. And over the last week, I've had some one-on-one time with a couple of clients on intensives where we worked a lot with boundaries. And so I thought I would pass along some of the fun stuff that was discovered in this process. And sort of go back and review what a boundary is, what it's about, and how to have fun with it. How's that sound? Okay? So it's really important to know what a boundary is, to know what that means to you. And so when we start with a boundary is, let's see, it's going to be a space or a line that defines around you, that is where you end and where the world begins, or where someone else begins. So it's a definition and it's a line. And then what they are to you, how important are they? Like how big does your line need to be? Because sometimes, like last night, it's in a really loud, crowded Irish pub, and my space was about this round around me, and I was really happy with that. Other times it needs to be like the whole size of the room, or the whole house, or the whole beach, right? My boundaries change. How to interact with them or how to hold them. So when we are looking at how to hold a boundary, it's saying, hey, this right here is my line. And when you come in closer than that, you're in my space, dude. Back up. Or when you got a teen, wait, back up. You're coming into my space, and I'm learning how to protect my space or how to honor my space. So I'm going to ask you to stand over there if you want to talk to me, right? Or, so start to define it and to let people know around you what it looks like so that you're aware of it. And it's in practice. This is my boundary. This is where I start and stop. And this is where I need you to be. And then how to teach other people. We used that example earlier, just a second ago, of, hey, this is where I need you to stop. And if you get in too close, or if you power up, or you try to get over me, or you try to raise your voice, or you try to smash this boundary, or you don't honor what I'm asking from you, then it tells us, whoa, I have to be really clear with others as to what I need. When someone is coming in your boundary area, that's a request for clarity. I don't know. You have never really told me. Or that's going to be on the innocent side, right? I didn't know, and now that I know, I can change that. Or I wasn't sure, because sometimes they change, or you're inconsistent, or I'm not sure how to read this. Or then there's the blatant narcissist personality, which is just kind of crash through your boundaries and pretend like any kind of personal space that you have is not yours. And that's a completely different segment. We can do more on that on another time. What we're really talking about is being able to teach other people what your space is. An example might be when I'm overwhelmed and I've had a really, really busy day, I will dim the lights down. I will put some really relaxing music on. I will get my chopping board out and my couple of clean towels, kitchen towels, get my knives out, get the food out that's in the refrigerator. And sometimes I don't know what I'm going to make for dinner. I just have to look at it and wait till some idea comes up. And I'm in this flow, right, of the kitchen. I'm going to cook a meal and I don't have a solid idea and I'm not in a hurry. That is my personal boundary space. Now, if my daughter or my son or my partner or my friend comes over into that space and they're like, hey, no, I can go, wait. See this whole kitchen thing right here? You're harshing my kitchen space. You need to take that energy, you need to take that vocabulary, you need to take that outside the kitchen until I'm ready for you to come in, because this is what I do to calm myself. And they're like, God, how long is that going to take? I don't know. You want to come in? But if you come in, you have to come in nice and easy. You can come chop side by side with me and we can talk. But we have to match energies, because right now what you're doing isn't working with me in mind. That's how we explain our own boundaries. This is what I need. This is what works for me. This is who I am. This is why I'm asking you. And then we model them like I just did with the kitchen example of how we're in balance and integration. We're not mad that someone came in. We just sort of stop them and say, I'm not in that space yet. And sometimes in the morning, you know, when I was young, when the kids were younger, and I was younger, of course, and I'd get my morning tea, it was like, can you just give me till the tea's like halfway done before we start talking about this? Because this is my morning and I got up early so that I could have my tea, and your nervousness about today is needs to calm down until I'm done with this tea or until it's halfway down. Can we deal with that? And then they're like, oh, I know. So now year after year the kids will go, don't go near mom until she's had her tea in the morning, especially in the campground when it's cold. How to be authentic and have a sense of humor. You know, when they come at you, especially when they're sort of belligerent. Like one client I have has this teenager who's, you know, kind of large and in charge and belligerent, right? So when somebody comes into your space and you go, yeah, back, stop, and they don't, then you can go, whoa, wait, I told you this is my space and you're still in my space. And you can smile. And you can kind of push on them a little bit, like, no, this is my space, you're still in it. No, this is my space and you can't come in here. And then you can start to dance and go, this is my space right here. You cannot be in that space, especially with that thing you got going on in your head right now. Or that little snarky behavior you got, not coming into my space right now. So then they're all the wind goes out of their sails. They're frustrated, but you've held an amazing boundary, letting them know what works and what doesn't work, right? So you dance a little, or you go, no, And when you have a very angry teen or a very angry partner, you can go, sorry, this, whatever you're doing right now, isn't allowed in this space with me. Now, there's the flip side, which is you have to honor that in somebody else too. You have to be able to go up and go, hey, is now a good time to talk about this? Or, hey, I'm in this rage, you know, there's all sorts of stuff going on in my head. And when you go after somebody to go, I need clarification, you know, what happened to my car? Or, I thought we were supposed to meet at this time. Or, you know, things that kind of get you going. Or when you're in a workspace and you come home and you're still tense. You can't just walk in the house and bring that with you and expect the whole house to respond. You can walk in and go, I had a day. It was not a good day. I got this big pig pen dust circle around me. And I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take a walk. And when I come back in, it'll be better. What do you need from me to be able to come in? And then you're clarifying at all times, how do boundaries work? How do we interweave them? And where do I begin and end? And where does another person begin and end? So knowing that it goes both ways and that we have the opportunity to honor that is super important. And then last, there's like 4 areas where boundaries come in. Boundaries are about material things. Hey, you borrowed my scarf and I want it back. Or if you borrow it, I want it back clean. Or I want it back a wash so it doesn't smell like your perfume. Or I'm not sure that I really want it back, but can I get back to you next week after if I miss it? These are all physical boundaries. Clarity on things, houses, borrowing, chairs, services, work, anything that happens in the 3rd dimension, in the material plane. This is when I come to work. This is what I do. This is what I'm willing to do during my lunch break, or this is the kind of task that you've asked me to do. And if I can fit it in addition to everything that I'm already working on, then we can talk about that. Now, do you want me to go through this list, or do you want me to do this for you now? Because I have to choose between these two. Which one? Material stuff, right? The second one is physical. Your personal space, touching, sex. Make sure that you're in this compatibility place when it comes to personal space. You know, what I don't know, I get kind of nervous sometimes and a little overwhelmed when I'm in a public place and it's crowded and somebody comes in and their body's too close to mine, and I kind of like move, and then they move closer, and then I have to sort of go, I'm sorry, I need to have a little bit more space around me. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Whatever, right? And I'm like, no, thank you very much, or I'll move out of the way. Touching. Is it okay for someone to come in and put their arm around you when they're in the wine bar? And I'm like, you know what? I didn't like that. That whole thing, can you not do that when you come around? Because that's not an invitation. I didn't invite you to touch me like that. And so knowing how the physical part comes in. Mental's the most important to me. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our opinions. Yeah, I get that you have this opinion of what's going on right now. And by all means, you're entitled to that opinion, but I need you to keep that over there because that may not be something that I share. So we can talk about some other things, but this mental idea of what you think is right for you, it needs to be right for you and not right for the table. Or if we ask you a question, by all means, it's an open discussion where we get to view our opinions. But when it starts to push them onto the group, I'm usually the one who says, those are yours. And how can we separate that from the discussion that's going on here in the room? And then the last one is emotional boundaries. This is where codependence lies. And it happens a lot with vibrational beings, empaths, where we match emotions. If we're around someone who's worried, we get worried, and then we get these frenzied worried, and then we bounce back and forth. Or anger. So with teenagers, a lot of anger and defenses, back, this kind of thing all the time. So what we know is that our emotions have to have some boundaries too, which is, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm going to keep it over here in this container, and what's going on with you? Is there anything that you need from me? Because something's happening here. And you ask for clarity. And then you can sort of like, no, I'm in a harsh day. I have had a little bit of a storm going on here, and this may not be the best place you want to be right now. Or, by the way, I've got happy, joy going on, and do you want to come into this space? Because this would be really fun. Come on, come play with me. This is how we play with boundaries, and we make it okay. And we teach children, and we teach our children, we teach our loved ones, we teach our coworkers who we are and what we need from them, and what we will do and what we won't do. So this is the kind of stuff I do with my coaching. If you're interested, drop me an email. Check out my website, DeniseDrydenCoaching.com, and let's talk about boundaries, and let's play a little bit, okay? Have a great Sunday, have a great week, and enjoy. Bye-bye.